What's up, writers? Today we're going to be planning from that key point that we talked about last time. Remember, we looked at the whole last time and we said, hey, how can we break this apart? We remembered that we had the sort of opposite issue where if we were the blind man, we found one part of the elephant and said that's all that teen activism was. And now that we have a better idea of teen activism, we want to understand what are some key components that make up teen activism. What do teen activists have in common? Last time, we took this 1, 2, 3 free writing about the topic, growing insights, and then applying that to the whole to try to help us figure out, do we already know some things about teen activism that are true for other activists? For example, last time we realized that with number 1, Malala sounds super professional. We grew that as part of number 2 and said, hey, you know what? Seems like Malala might be being coached. She might be being coached by your dad, actually. In fact, it seems that way. And then we realized that, there's probably other activists that this is the same with. In fact, teen activists probably get help from their parents. So we're going to look at the same sort of thing today and try to decide, where do we go with that idea that teen activists get help from their parents? Let's check it out. So, key parts that make up a topic. If we started with the same example from last time, that teen activists get help from their parents, we would either need to try to be more specific to find similarities to it, or we could go broader. But I want to take one that's a little bit different than last time. I want to think about teen activists work in different ways. We could have said help in different ways, but instead we're going with work. So we're going to start with teen activists work in different ways. And we've already got one of our bullet points that some teen activists work together in small groups. However, not all teen activists do work in small groups. Other teen activists work in different ways. Oh, what are those ways they work then? Think for yourself right now. What are some other ways they work? So we have a small group. I bet we could have a larger group, huh? And we could also have some that work alone. So right there, we've got 3 different groups that work, or 3 different ways that teen activists work. So we've kind of got our essay set up then at that point. We'll introduce the idea of teen activism. We'll say that teen activists actually work in many different ways. And each of those body paragraphs can talk about the different ways they work and the different activists and how they've worked in those different ways. Now, right now, all of us just have a key part. Okay. It was easier for us to do that together because we already had the big box figured out. But a lot of us don't have that big box. A lot of us just have this idea that Malala got help from her parents. If we're looking at that screen right now with me, you'll see that we have specific on the bottom of this triangle and we have broad at the top. We're looking for that broad idea. We have the specific one that Malala gets help from her parents. But how do we go from there? Because we have to climb back up that triangle. So looking back at this same one, teen activists work in different ways. The key here is that teen activists, and then there's an action word, work. In our case with teen activists help, teen activists help. Well, Malala got help from her parents. So some activists get help from their parents. So if we were to do the same thing with help, it would say teen activists get help in different ways or in many ways. One of those ways is from their parents. So it's really just replacing that action word. Work, choose a different verb almost. Help. Now, it's a pretty simple way of thinking of it, and it won't always work perfectly. But in our example here, some teen activists work together in small groups, some work alone, some work as part of a large group. It definitely works. Now, I bet that you have some of your own key parts. So you need to try to do the same thing. Think, what is this little part and how could we make it bigger? If any of your key parts you think goes along with one of these you see in front of you, then use one of these. This is how we move from one key part to make a plan that's going to be a logical information essay. So if you've noticed one way teen activists overcome obstacles or change people, what's another way that might be? If you've found one cause or reason for teen activism, like bullying, what might be another cause or reason? If you've found one effect that teen activism created, what might be another effect? If you found one source of support, parents, for teen activism or teen activists, what might be another source of support? And finally, if you found one trait, like that teen activists are brave, what might be another trait? Determined, smart. You know all about those character traits. We've studied them throughout the year. Okay, right now you should be pretty close to having this idea of how your essay will go. And I'm excited to see how your essay is going to develop from here because next time we talk, we're going to be making that essay. Until I see you next time, happy writing.